Well, I keep my expectations low, that's for one. We're really not expecting any wholesale change in OPEC's oil policy or Saudi oil policy as a result of this visit, mainly because, again, as a group, OPEC's spare capacity is extremely limited. They haven't been able to even keep up with their quota increases. And I think Saudi Arabia in particular is very, very keen to make sure there is spare capacity left. When potentially things could get a lot worse, things could tighten up. We still don't have the embargo that's kicked in yet. That's later on in the year and in February for the products next year. The SPR still continues till October. China is yet to open up. So we are still at around, call it $100 without any of these three factors, right? And so things will only tighten up from here. So Saudi Arabia particularly does want to keep some of its powder dry rather than just unleashing all the spare capacity now.
Why do they want to do that?
Because if, let's say, you bring all your spare capacity right now, call it, and let's say oil prices come off, for argument's sake, $10. Then when China does open up and you don't have any SPR left and the Russian embargo kicks in, what else do you have? I mean, they would have completely lost control of the upside.
Just the interest of keeping prices slightly lower now, or not catching up with it later. They want some stability in these oil prices, too. Is it bad for them when things really move all over the place?
Oh, of course. I mean, otherwise, let's say, that's what I'm saying. So let's say you get $10 down now and you completely lose control of the upside afterwards. You can pick a number. It could be 150, 200, and they won't be able to control that because they will not have any spare left. You've got Libya, Nigeria, you've had Latin American disruptions. None of these countries are particularly stable when it comes to production anyways.
Even though you have low expectations for this meeting, what is important? What needs to happen? Because relations between these two countries have been pretty rough.
Absolutely. I mean, and look, oil is not going to be the only thing on the agenda, right? Regional stability is definitely going to feature there as well. I'm sure they will talk about not just crude, but also refined products, because ultimately refining is a big bottleneck, right? Increasing crude production might not do the trick regardless. So potentially some more product exports from the region. But again, the challenge is going to be when there is not much spare capacity to begin with, what can the group bring back? I think that's what ministers around the world, not just Biden, they have to understand that. And if you look at the physical market, the backwardation in Brent is over $4. You have North Sea and West African grades trading close to $125, $130. So the market is incredibly tight. What we are seeing on the price on the screen is just pure sentiment and low liquidity. That doesn't actually tell us what the true price of crude oil is.
So you think that we are much more likely that this is just a temporary respite? We are much more likely to go higher from here?
I mean, look, the temporary softness could continue for another 4 weeks or so. It's summer holidays, liquidity is thin, and you never catch a falling knife, right? But right now, there's more machines trading this than humans. And we just need to let this play out. But ultimately, into the winter, we remain extremely constructive on crude prices. We've already factored in recession in our numbers on demand. We still have demand growing by just under 1 million barrels per day next year. We've got US and European demand declining for the rest of the year. But even with that, global demand this year should be increasing by close to 2.5 million barrels per day because of the base effect that we've already seen, plus Asian demand growth.
Which gets you to what price target, let's say, by the end of the year for WTI?
We still think it should be above 120, potentially close to 130 by year end.
Wow. Amrita, thank you. We will continue to check in with you. We appreciate your time on all of this.